So y'all, come along with me while I write this story. Now, I'm going to give you the short version of it. It's a metaphor of what I feel like I was going throughout the years, mentally and just in my real life. I called it Hell's Hallway. I know it's a little deep, but it's like you're in this long hallway, this extremely long, dark hallway. And this hallway has just thousands of doors on both sides. And you're dropped in there. And there's a door on each side. It's so dark. It's very, very dark. And you start to open the doors. You open the doors in this hallway on both sides. And as you open the doors, as you begin, an obstacle, something horrifying in each door. And each door, whatever that is, that obstacle or that scary thing, it gets harder and harder each door. And the trick is you can't skip a door. You have to open each door in order to go to the next door. And it's something worse in each door. So like at the beginning, it might be something as simple as you're in a room full of deadly spiders, poisonous spiders, and they're all over the walls, all over the door, all over the handle, and you have to find your way out of there. And then you might go further down and it might be something like a demon or something in one of them. But each door, the obstacle gets harder and harder. It's like I'm going through, and some days or some doors might take over me or pull my energy so much that I have to sit for weeks at a time until I regain my energy and I'm able to go to the next door. And as you get maybe to like the fourth or fifth door, you see this light at the end of the tunnel, and it's very, very small. It's very, very small, but it's so dark in there. You want to get to that light. You see it, it's so small though. So you sit there in the hallway for a few days and you might cry, you might pout about it because each door is getting harder and harder. It's a bigger obstacle in each door, like it's something tricky in each door, and it gets harder and harder. You have to fight a dragon in another door, and just each door is getting harder and harder. But you see that light, and as you go down that hall, or as you go through the obstacles and you make it out of those rooms, the light gets bigger and bigger. And I mean, I'm dirty and I'm bloody and I'm tired. I'm exhausted and I'm just ready to give up. I'm in tears, but I can still see that light. That light is at the end of this Hell's Hallway. She keeps going and she's going through the doors. And I mean, it's nothing quick. This is something that took years for her to get out of. She's in this hallway of hell. And I mean, there are people screaming because after she leaves a door, someone else drops in behind her and they have to go through the same thing. So whatever that scary thing or that obstacle is that I pass, someone else behind me is getting dropped in and they're having to try to pass it. If you don't pass, you just sit in there. You just sit and sit and sit. If you try not to go through the doors and decide to just sit, you just stay in that dark hallway of hell for the rest of your life. She's going through and she's hearing all these screams, you know, because some people aren't passing. Some people are choosing to just sit there. So she's going, and as she's going and she's defeating, and I mean, she has to take a break, maybe like a week or two sometimes, and to regain her energy. But she's going and she's going, that light's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I mean, finally, she gets to the end. She gets to the end, and it's like a breath of fresh air. She can see the sunlight. The sun is beaming on her skin. She can feel it. Like it's the first time she's felt sunlight in years. And it feels good. It looks good on her. But there's a cliff. There's a cliff. She finally got to the end, but there is a cliff. She can feel the breeze. She can feel the wind blowing on her. And that sun, it feels good. But it's a cliff. And she can't see a bottom to that cliff. Like she's looking down and she cannot see the bottom of that cliff at all. She can't see where she's going to land. She can't see anything. So she has a decision to make. There's still people back there screaming and hollering who are going through the hallway of hell. And it's like this open area at the end where she kind of just sits. And she's trying to decide, do I go back into this hallway where I've already passed all of those obstacles and defeated all of those scary things? Or do I jump? Now, scary. Both things are scary to her. She thinks to herself and she's like, well, I did already pass all of those things. If I passed it once, I can pass it again. So I could just go back. So she sat there. She had to sit there. She had to sit there maybe for a few months because it's hard to jump when you can't see where you're going to land. And so she's sitting there, and she's trying to decide what to do. Like, it took her years to get through that hallway, but she did get through it. So she does have the option of going back into that dark hallway. One day she decides, it took her months to finally just build up the courage, but one day she decides that she's going to jump. And it doesn't matter if she can't see the bottom. Anything is better than going back into that darkness. Like, this sunlight feels so good on her, and it looks so good. And if she can just have a minute of that, if she could just enjoy that, being free in the wind and enjoying that sunlight just for a minute, it's worth it versus going back into that dark hallway. So she builds up the courage and she says she's going to jump. And she doesn't know if she's going to even land, but it's worth it. To give herself more jumping room, she goes back and does this running. She jumps off the cliff. As she jumps off the cliff, she can feel her stomach come up. You know, she can feel it. At the same time, it's this feeling of freedom as she's flying through that wind. Now, she doesn't know if there's even anything underneath, but she's jumped now and she's going down. She's going down fast. The wind is blowing in her face, so she has to kind of turn her head a little bit to the side because the wind is blowing so much that it's taking her breath away. And she still can't see an ending yet. As she's getting halfway down, speed is picking up. She's becoming kind of nervous because she doesn't see an end, and she's just thinking that the end has to be some type of land, and she's going so fast that if she hits it, she's automatically dead. So she's already accepted death, but to her, that minute of falling down that cliff and feeling that sunlight and that wind was worth it to her. So she's already accepted death. If that's what God has in store for her, she's ready. She's praying. She's getting ready. She's preparing for her death, and she's praying. And all of a sudden, before you know it, she starts to have these pains all over her body. It feels like bones are cracking. It feels like things are adjusting inside of her. And she's thinking that it's just because she's getting closer to the bottom and she's getting ready to crash. She just feels like that's like a symptom of that. And before you know it, she grows wings. She grows wings out of nowhere. In the middle of falling, she grows wings.